Hi, cuties. Well, I'm sick like a dog. I think you can tell by my very sexy, raspy tone. But yeah, after 2.5 years of successful avoidance of this plague, it is what it is. I think I can say plague without getting demonetized, so I'm good. So yeah, I'm very sick, so my commentary is gonna be slightly limited, but I think I sound like a Miley Cyrus a little bit right now. I don't know why. But I've been alerted that there is a cultural reset going on, and I cannot miss out on this. In all seriousness, I've been a big fan of IU for a very long time. I really appreciate and respect everything she built. I think she's one of the kind when it comes to the industry, the music, and her palette, her show is absolutely incredible. Today we're gonna listen to a very specific episode which she had Jhope on. This one is so incredibly special, especially because of the magnitude of the two people that are gonna meet in this episode and their impact that they had on the industry respectively. Well, if you are interested in everything singing and music related, then this is the right place for you, so please don't forget to subscribe. And if you want to further support the channel, please check out my Patreon. It's gonna be in the pinned comment and in the description of the video. I do up to 6-7 extra reactions, actually live reactions in my Patreon per month, and you are the ones who choose what I'm gonna be reacting to. Down in the pinned comment you're also gonna find my webpage where you're gonna find all the information about my singing lessons and voice analysis. So if you've ever wanted to sing, then head there. I'm gonna be waiting for you. And without any further ado, IU and Hobby, or Jhope, on IU's Pallet, they're gonna be singing 2 songs. All right, so the first one will be Equal Sign.
우린 서로 갇혀 시선들을 맞춰 사람 위에 사람 먹고 사람 밑에 사람 없어 let's roll.
Hello, paralyze your mind. Gotta see the other side. Cause you're nothing to be kind. That's so different, you and I. Looking for love in a different light. Till we find the equal sign.
우린 아직 세상에 무심해 관심이 필요해 우리에게 변화의 시작은 곳이게 어쩌면 우리의 몫이게 외쳐도 소리 없는 안속비로 느끼는 다른 점 정당에 올라서 뭉치로 가슴 쉬며 세상은 넓고 사람 마음은 좁다 꼭 같을 필요는 없어도 다른 게 왜 좋을까 나이를 넘어 성별을 넘어 국경을 넘어 모든 숙제 같은 건 나부터 깨부쳐 차별하니 차이가 편견의 표정 알아야 그건 우리들은 please.
Hello, paralyze.
So first of all, IU has the entire band of her own and that does this show, which is so cool because she has an extra arrangement for every guest that she has, and she literally rearranges the entire song when it comes to vocals, when it comes to music, everything basically to fit the format. And it's incredible because it is really a lot of work, and that's just showing how much she's invested into that format and into that show. I know that IU is kind of an extremely versatile singer. She sometimes chooses to sing with a very lightweight approach, so with a lot of air coming through, and it's especially when she is aiming for kind of the higher tones. She is an absolute master of mix. She can have such a flawless, almost a mix that you almost cannot spot that she is mixing, and then suddenly she's just in complete head voice and you don't know how she got there. She is an insanely amazing singer, but here she is slightly lower. She's using a lot of clean tone, and even though she is using a lot of her clean tone, her voice is still very sweet, very kind of angelic. She has a very sweet type of a voice. She doesn't have too much of earthy colors. And I like that Jhope is really matching that energy, especially in a Jack in a Box recently. We could see how much he experimented with like a heavy fry, with a heavy kind of impact on his voice with growls, and you can see how much he's trying to lift his voice trying to make it a little bit lighter, positive. We still can spot a lot of fries here and there because that's his absolutely ultimate signature in the end. But he is definitely trying to light it up, have a little bit more playfulness in it, which he's really good at because BTS on its own went through such a long career. They had so many different songs with a little bit of an infusion from different genres, so the versatility is basically in them. So this is great to see. Can you see that absolute connection? Oh my God. Well, they sang, I mean, Jhope is from BTS, so overall he is used to kind of cooperate with people on the stage. I think this is almost a little awkward to him and like a little clumsy because he's just like a lot of attention is mainly on him, and then he's singing with IU, which, oh my God, everybody would be nervous to sing with IU in my opinion. But overall, their communication is very good. Even though you see that it's a little clumsy and cute and a little bit kind of awkward around each other, they have a lot of respect for each other, so obvious. And looking at each other is a little bit like, oh my God, you know, that little, you know, shy feeling. But they still know that it's super important for the communication, especially in duet. So IU is absolutely fantastic. I love this kind of version of IU because through the years we've got a lot from IU. We've got everything. That girl is such an experimental type that she's been through literally everything, especially when it comes to singing kind of approach and technique. And here she's singing very clean. Got a lot of little bells. And yeah, again, when she reaches into that higher, like higher registers and she taps into that mix, is almost not spottable, unspottable. And that's really, really cool about her. What I like is that he's balancing her very well. He's usually Jhope is the one that has a very clean tone, but he is really letting that earthy undertones in his voice come through. A little bit more air, it's more fuzzy, it's more warm, and then on top of that a little bit of a fries here and there. He's still very true to his clean tone, like the finishes of the phrases are always in a clean tone, or mostly, but he's really trying to make it earthy and warmer with a little bit of an air through.
Let's go together.
Wow.
How cute is that, honestly? Before we continue, I'm just gonna address that really beautiful head voice tone that she has. One thing that IU really mastered is that absolute blend between her registers. So there's no lack in anything. Her head voice is very strong, her mix is strong, her core voice is very strong, and when she's passing through them, you're just like, you don't even know. It's really incredible. She's an amazing singer. That's what we know.
너무 재밌네요.
아니,
너무 근데 긴장을 많이 해가지고.
그러니까 저희가 얘기를 하면서 느낀 건데 제이홉 씨는 이렇게 팀으로 이렇게 활동을 하시다 보니까 딱 서가지고 이렇게 부르는 게 약간
맞아요.
어색하죠. 저도 아직 어색해요. 그런 게.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like I think it's one of his first kind of performances like this.
진짜 처음 경험해보니까
It was my first time.
정말 좋은 경험하네.
Oh, it was his first time. I think going for a solo kind of performance like this, and it is gonna be on IU's Pallet. I think IU makes everybody feel incredibly welcome, warm, cold. She's very caring, so I think that experience is one of the best.
이게 저도 저희가 이렇게 딱 눈이 마주치는 그 순간에서 제이홉 씨의 흔들리는 눈동을
그게 느껴졌나요? 큰일 났네.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of talking about. It was obvious that it was slightly awkward for them to look at each other. But as musicians, especially two singers that are singing in duet, for timing, for feelings, for everything, it's incredibly important to keep that eye contact, especially in the key moments of the song. If there are any harmonies, but also like the correct start to phrase, to correct start of something that is colliding. Very important. So even though it was a little clumsy and cute and awkward, they kept it very professional and sweet, and they did a great job with this song, because IU really tried to give that song a lot of power, because she is used to sing slightly lighter. I think recently, actually, in her past, damn, we've got everything really. And she really wanted to give it that power that the original has. And Jhope was doing everything to really match her energy, lift it up, keep that song powerful, but still very, very leveled. And yeah, that's a great result. Let's see what song actually Jhope chose from IU's songs.
저는 바로 갈 수 있습니다.
근데 이 곡도 제이홉 씨가 정해주셨는데
맞아요.
네, 제 노래 중에서 한 곡 골라주셨죠.
이게
Choosing from IU's songs, you have so much. She has like over 100 songs, if I'm correct. A lot of them she wrote herself. I think most of them she wrote herself. She's a musical genius. I'm telling you, if you do not know IU properly and you're here just for hobby is great. Check IU too. She's amazing.
정말 고민을 많이 했어요.
Okay, what?
내가 과연 어떤 노래를 부를 수 있을까? 어떻게 하지 하다가 꽃갈피 앨범을
네.
또 보게 됐고 삐에로
우리 보고
웃지라는
김한선 선배님의
맞아요.
원곡이.
저도 평소에 좋아했던 노래.
네.
I mean, this is making sense when it comes to the concept, Pierrot Laughs At Us, because I think it correlates with his Jack in a Box concept. Not so much musically, but in the concept of the clown.
네네.
사실 제 잭인더 박스라는 게 어떻게 보면은 삐에로가 삐용하고 나오는
그러니까요.
거잖아요.
그래서 이래서 이 노래를 고르셨구나.
뭔가 일맥상통한 부분이 좀 있어서 골랐던 것 같아요.
그러니까 이분은 어디까지 큰 그림과 디테일을 생각하시는 분인가라는 생각이 들더라고요.
정말 우연한 게 뭔가 있었던 거예요. 뭔가 좀.
저도
He really did manage to find that one song that mentions clown. You have to appreciate the dedication. You really do. All right, let's go. This is slightly jazzy, but since Hobby's been living with V for some time, so I think he got used to that. This is such a great example of putting really sweet, lighter voices that are, very lifted to a lower place, and they get this really, really pretty soft color. Okay, so this is already pretty low set overall. And I have not expected they would place Hobby lower, because a lot of people think that Hobby has a pretty bright kind of a color, and that his voice is pretty like a mid midsection when it comes to perceiving of the voice. Like a lot of people perceive some voice super high, then some super low, and it doesn't really matter where they're moving. It's just like the feeling that you get from it overall. And I think a lot of people, because of his style, of his rap style, kind of assume it's very energetic, it's very high intensity, so you perceive it slightly elevated. But he can go very low. And the fry is also part of that. Like frying of your voice is very needed to go very low with your voice as well. And he has no issues to really drop very low. So it's cool. And you can hear it. He's still keeping his color. There's no color withering away from his voice. He even had a little bit of a vibrato there. Oh, this was really nice. So it's slightly lifted from the lower place, and the chorus is gonna be slightly higher, which is really cool because their voices go so well together. They do not have a lot of contrast. They are both very similar quality. So we're not getting heavy contrast, but even the tiny minimal differences are so pretty together. Now, in a lot of duets, people just always search for a very stark, heavy contrast. But honestly, having a little bit of a difference and a little bit of a contrast building that is really minimal and soft and delicate can be sometimes even better than like black and white contrast. Like you don't have to be miles away to create a pretty contrast, you know? It doesn't have to be a high pitched and a low tenor type of voice. It can be really in the really intricate details. Pretty little change there. I really appreciate that because it really spiced it up a little bit.
One, two,
Oh, and now we're gonna get a dance number.
three, let's go.
It's a cute move. That was sweet.
감사합니다.
That was adorable. That was probably the cutest, sweetest, awkward, clumsy, adorable thing I've literally witnessed in a long time. Those two people's energies are so awkward together but cute. At the same time, there's so much mutual respect there, you can tell. I really like how they played off of each other. There's obviously tons of respect from both sides, and they've known and about each other for a very long time. They are moving in the same circles, and I think it's very exciting for them as well to get this opportunity to kind of work together and try something new, try something completely different. It was fun. I really appreciate Jhope choosing I use Pallet. I think it's one of the best shows when it comes to music, and if you need to promo, because I was just a very caring and very musically educated, smart person. So I'm really happy that this happened. I go watch more of the Pallet episodes because they are really good. Ayu is a fantastic host, and there are a lot of interesting people that have been there. And respectively, please go support Jhope's Jack in a Box. Arson is out. Arson absolutely swept me away. It's such a great song. I've been listening it since the release. It resonates with me. Now I'm going back on the voice rest. And I'm gonna leave you with this beautiful lingering feeling of those two legends working together. And I'll see you as soon as my vocal cords are actually back. Love you tons.